Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and this is another Blumhouse-Amazon collaboration for Welcome to Blumhouse on Amazon, and this is called Nocturne. And this is directed and written by Zoo Quirk, and starring Sydney Sweeney as Juliet, Madison Iseman as her sister Vivian. They're two students at this prolific school for the arts, and Vivian, the sister, she's like a huge star at this place, and you have Juliet, who's always kind of living in her shadow. And then after this strange feeling comes over her and she performs one of Vivian's songs at a performance and blows everybody away, things start changing in terms of the fortunes for Juliet in one direction and Vivian's another. And this film, it feels a lot like the kind of idea that comes along with Whiplash and like Black Swan, in terms of really focusing on how much the really stressful and impactful experiences it can be in the arts, and like being driven to this perfection and how it affects your human relationships. And obviously in this film, that drama is heightened even more because it's this sisterly bond and how people perceive them, and it's a really aggressive competition, and Quirk is able to really pull that drama out of that relationship and Juliet's whole entire journey through this film. Now, this film also has some supernatural elements, or something. Something's going on here. Some kind of forces are influencing her, taking her over. Those parts of this film did not really work for me. And they weren't scary, they weren't creepy enough. They kind of just like felt forced in just to make this some kind of genre mix. Because honestly, this film would have worked perfectly fine as just a drama, like Whiplash, and there's enough tension in the actual moments of this competition between sisters and Juliet trying to really show herself and prove herself. That intensity really works. And this film is shot in, it looks good, it's well shot, it builds the tension. Quirk does a nice job of really pacing this film because it never feels like anything like stays too long. It's going through, it's telling its story, and I just felt like every time like a supernatural element, this vision or a weird thing happens, it just kind of ripped me out of the movie. But of course, like, this film's supposed to be like kind of a horror film, and those elements just felt like a distraction, and they really detracted from my experience of the film, because every time I felt like this drama was really building up, it gets distracted by that. It has different layers, there's some complexities, there's a relationship with a teacher that both of them have had as a teacher, and it really takes a look at that idea of that competition in the arts and trying to get into art school, and those things, like I said, work. And I kind of wish that this film really just focused on them and didn't try anything with like thrills, because in the end, the performances from Sydney Sweeney and Madison Iseman, they're really strong and they work. And this film could have stood on its 2 feet. The film leads up to a cheesy horror movie kind of ending where like false endings and stuff like that. I'm just like, ugh. Another thing that they just like tacked in there that made the ending of this film feel even more like imbalanced and awkward in terms of the genres that it's trying to mix. In the end, there's elements that really worked about Nocturne for me. There's other elements that really felt like they distracted from the film. And I feel like I'm definitely interested in seeing more of what Quirk can do. Kind of hoping that it's more focused on like more straight intense drama like a Whiplash, instead of mixing in, because like it felt a little bit more towards Black Swan that did have those horror elements, except they worked considerably better in Black Swan than they did in terms of clicking in this film. But those are my thoughts on Nocturne on Amazon. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.